Thank you very much. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This one taken from the 7. And a good effort on the return there gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Again they run with Gurley. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. The offense on your screen now, and Todd Gurley on your screen. That is the back of the present and the future.
And what an amazing return for him from a knee injury his last year in college at the University of Georgia. Now it's like it never happened. There's nothing he can't do on the football field. And if you're a defense, that's a long day trying to prepare for Todd Gurley.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs. Faced with their first 3rd down conversion opportunity and able to punch it through and pick it up on the ground.
And to me, doing it on the ground sends a different type of a message than throwing the football. And, you know, let's face it, we've done a lot of games together. How often have we seen 3rd down turn into an automatic passing down no matter what the yardage?
Yeah, and last thing you want, that opening drive to go 3 and out. You got everything scripted, lined up. Let's get some points on the board, and they're able to avoid that 3 and out. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
They'll try the air now with Goff. And he's just going to get rid of this thing to no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. A shotgun snap for Goff. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. The numbers for him from a week ago. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week. Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
He'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 yards for number 11.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Looking a little bit like a continuation of last week. He had 3 tackles for a loss, and now 1 more here in the first quarter of this game.
And there's been no lack of force by him, taking on the offensive linemen, playing them, but also there's a suddenness to his game. They have that initial contact, and then he's gone, moving upfield and making those plays in the backfield.
It's a big body moving upfield, too. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. He'll look to throw. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out.
Anytime a fake doesn't work, we usually focus our attention on the guys that were unsuccessful. But how about the defensive guys? They have to plan all week. They have to prepare all week. Special teams, it looked like they were educated for that one.
Educated on their toes and getting a big stop. And the Rams getting set to go now. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Well, they get the completed pass, but still have more to go here on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And he rifles one incomplete. Ten yards still left on 2nd down. Goff turns and gives to Gurley. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
Not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. The Rams on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now Goff. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Aaron Lynch with a big-time sack on third down, and it'll be a loss of 7. I know some of the talk after last week's loss was the O-line struggles. They gave up 4 sacks. He got hit here and taken down again, so that's something to monitor.
It is something to monitor, but they've got to help their offensive line out. Maybe a little bit different play calling, right? Draws, screens, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quicker, maybe some quick game passes. All of that to try and help slow down a pass rush and make things easier on their offensive line.
So on fourth down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. A gain of 3, second down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
On play action, they'll throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. And give him a gain of 37.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. And he'll give it here to his running back. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
And the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly. Sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football should come back into play. You know what I would think here? Quick kick. Try and change field position, help out your team.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires. On the first quarter of action. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you. It's the 49ers in control of the football. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. They're going to look to throw. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And they give this time to the tailback. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And this is going to be incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. And now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
Robbie Gould on now to try the field goal from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And the 13-year man puts it through, and the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. And we were scoreless up until this point in the second quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we've got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along, or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
And a short kick, taking it about the 16. Shoving through the defense. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Gurley. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
And he fires one incomplete. The Rams on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. From the gun, here's Goff. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Ray Armstrong in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Here's Johnny Hacker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking it about the 16. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 11 yards for number 11. And he'll give it here to his running back. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 2, now third down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
The Niners on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now back to throw. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
The former Purdue Boilermaker, Raheem Mostert. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
And sometimes it doesn't matter how big and strong and powerful you are. The defense is going to win an occasional battle, and they did on that one. Stopped him well short of picking up a first down.
So on 4th down, out comes Bradley Pinion to punt this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. Here's Johnny Hacker now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Taken from just outside the 30. 12 yards on the return that time. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's hoping to get it going. They're hoping to get him going, too. You know, he's about ready to pop one here in the second quarter. He's hoping.
And his offensive line teammates, they want to get one of those, too, because They want to continue to run the football. Most offensive linemen like that part of the game better than pass protection because they're not taking blows, they're actually dealing them out. So what they want to do is show the coaches, hey, if we pop one, we're having success. That way they won't go away from the running game.
He'll be hoping to pop one, break one here this go-around. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Larry Ridley. Larry will have the highlights of this first half, but he won't have touchdowns because we haven't had any to this point.
But there's still time, though, partner.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Let's go!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. Right around the 31. The Niners on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. They'll try and run for it. This is Juszczyk. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. And now the Rams are going to halt things as they want a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
They'll set up to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Here we go now. Green 39!
They'll look to throw now on first down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
As much football as we watch, we've seen this work many times. In the red zone, first down, take a shot at the end zone, and points result. In this case, though, give credit to the defense. They outguessed them, were prepared, and intercepted the pass.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On the give, this is their fullback. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. The Rams on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. They'll run it now with Dunbar. And he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line. They were looking for a little spark and some breathing room. They got it right there, a gain of 14 and a first down. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you'll have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on third and a tough 9. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we will send you eastward to Orlando and Larry Ridley. He's standing by with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Larry.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. Both the Rams and the 49ers haven't had a reliable run game so far. The push up front has not been there, and you have to give credit to both defenses on that front. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. At the end of the first quarter, Lynch is going to push his way to the QB here. This will go for a loss of 7. Third and long. Armstrong's going to take down the QB here. This ends up with a short loss in yardage. Down to late in the second. Here the defense will come up with the pick. Christensen's happy to come away with the pick, ending the drive. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. Let's get you back out west to Los Angeles as we rejoin Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
This is taken near the 13. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, this is the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They run a draw here on second down. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Niners on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll drop to throw. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Throw now on first down. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. There he goes left side. And he'll get it down deep into Los Angeles territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 52 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. And they give this time to the tailback. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play,
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Robbie Gould on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. Gould now out to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Another carry now for Gurley. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Only a yard on the pickup, and now they've got a 3rd down and 8.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Here's Johnny Hacker now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fielded at the 33. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the 49ers getting set to trot out there. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete here.
You know, every time we talk with people about the most important quality for a quarterback to have in the NFL, what do they usually cite?
Arm strength.
Yeah, that's really way down on the list. Accuracy is one of the bigger ones, maybe the foremost one. That's what he needed on that play.
Let's go.
He'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Blair. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Back to throw. Throw left side, complete. It's Blair. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. To throw on 2nd down is Goff. He's going to loft one deep left side here. He's got a man complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. A big play there for L.A. 41 yards. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
Goff on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really...
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down.
When I watched Jared Goff on tape at Cal, I saw a guy who wasn't just a dart thrower. A lot of people said, he's perfect for the West Coast offense. I always thought he could do a little bit more, and that was the reason why. He can push it downfield. He has a good, strong arm.
On first down, it's Gurley. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Goff. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Solomon Thomas in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Second down now after the sack. Back to throw, Goff. And avoids the contact by sliding. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll make it 3rd and goal. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Los Angeles. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the fourth and final quarter. They gotta have 6 here. It's 3rd and goal. On the run, Dunbar. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Zerline's kick is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. All right, so you needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal then maybe not exactly what they wanted, but it's a necessary first step.
Still plenty of time remaining, but you could really use a stop defensively after the kickoff, preferably a 3 and out.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They run the counter now on 1st down. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take. Puts a little bit more.
And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for San Francisco. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. Anyone happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe
that.
bashed.
Super toe.
On the draw, Goff gives to Gurley. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. The Rams on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 8. Goff now looking to throw. Hard throw, incomplete. Here's Johnny Hacker now as he's on to punt for L.A. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild. And at the end of all that, it winds up a safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. Fourth quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it. But, you know, every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, it cost him big time. Still leading, but it costs him. So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. And he fields it cleanly.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's...
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, L.A. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Rams have taken the lead here in the fourth. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts. All right, because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Out of the gun, gone. And that'll be incomplete.
Well, that decision to me was all about pulling up the chart. You know, that beautiful chart that tells you when to go for two, when to go for one. I do love it. It helps you with your decision-making during heated times. And just look at it right here in this point of the game. Go for two and try and make it a field goal difference.
But now just up one makes the rest of this fourth quarter a little more interesting.
Yeah, they followed the chart. They just didn't get the 2 points on the board, did they?
Nope. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Blair. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
So it'll be 1st down here after the run. They'll set up a throw. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down. So the offense has it, 6-yard line, 1st and goal. Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come right back at them with the same play, the same set, and see if they can stop them.
Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. And, of course, the quarterback in this situation, he's realizing time is becoming a factor. Let's see if they can get some points on the board here late. Now 3rd down and goal from the 1. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This for the lead in the final stages. And Gold is able to put it through. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Now then, it's a big kick right there to give them the lead in the fourth. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so, but this one's not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. It's a pretty simple formula, Charles. A field goal, all you need, that wins you the game.
And the most confident guys going out on the field to direct their teams, they've probably already talked to their kicker before they went out and let him know, don't worry, you got a chance to be a hero in this one. I'll set you up, you just knock it through the post. His plan, get the team downfield and get them into position. They've gone over it many times in practice. That's how he's going to approach it.
And now on the sideline, everyone stay away from the kicker. He's back to throw. And this one's incomplete. Cooper was the target there. That'll bring up second down. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley trying to run inside, but nothing there. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Here comes a 20th carry for Gurley. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. They'll look to throw. Fights loose. And his pass incomplete. This defense so strong all afternoon long. Well executed again there.
This is a group that really functions well off of each other. No matter what the assignment, the other person fills in the exact proper spot. They've made it very, very hard for them to find open places to throw the football.
Now a draw as Goff gives to Gurley. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. And they're trying to line up quickly here. Goff urging them on. Back to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete. So they went for the 6, didn't get it. Now the call has to be for 3.
I agree with you. I know the competitive instinct says, let's go ahead and take another shot. But you took it already. Go ahead now, get the field goal.
And Zerline's kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. And on 2nd and 10 now. to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. The Rams go nickel here defensively on third. He'll look to throw. He finds Taylor, complete. A big gain of 31 on third down. And he'll stop it with a spike here with 7 seconds left on the clock. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. He'll look to throw. A swing pass caught. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
Well, I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. So they're going to go for 2. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
Well, I don't think it takes much to crawl into their mind, right, why they went for 2 there, even though they were unsuccessful. With this type of a lead, what they're worried about, right, in what, less than 10 seconds on the clock, what they're worried about is just giving up the touchdown.
Yeah, on the kickoff return.
Yeah, so you go for it here to try and ensure yourself. Now, they've got to make sure they cover it, otherwise they could actually lose.
Gold now out to kick it away. Short boot taken at the 21. So some drama down to the very end of this ball game, Charles, on that final kickoff. They were hoping to break free, some sort of miracle play, but they couldn't do it.
They had a chance, and that was their only opportunity to try and bring it all the way back. As you noted, they weren't able to get that done, but at least they had the shot. What a tremendous game to be this close and this well contested.
So for San Francisco, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will head home next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for LA, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. From Los Angeles, so long, everybody.